The Frozen North, episode 66, our top 5 video game series.
Howdy, y'all. You're listening to the Frozen North podcast here on the Frozen North Podcast Network. My name is Mark, and I'm here with the host, JJ.
Howdy, y'all! Did I do that? Did I do that right?
You did. That was perfect.
What
Man.
Wait, what?
That kind of hurt.
Wait, what is going on right now?
I don't know. I just went with it.
Are you... What? Wait a minute.
We're also here with JJ's other co-host, Brian.
Wait a minute. Am I being punked right now? Are you telling me that you're now JJ?
No, I'm not JJ. I just introduced
You just
JJ.
did. No,
host.
you...
He did just introduce me as the host.
Well, wait a minute. Holy God, what is happening
He
right now?
is so thrown off right now.
Yeah, my whole...
What? It's like he's me.
Gee, I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we switched all over the place.
It's true.
Man,
I don't...
I don't even know where to go. Just
Yeah,
continue,
what-
Mark.
like, continue,
Go for
Mark.
it.
Oh, God. So what have you been playing, JJ?
Oh my goodness, I have been playing. I beat finally Dragon Ball Z: Attack of the Saiyans on my 3DS, and DS game on my 3DS, and it was exactly like every other Dragon Ball Z story. So, but the gameplay is what I really liked about it because it was that turn-based RPG classic. Very, very cool, and always what I wanted from a Dragon Ball Z game. Recommended if you're a fan, just like every other Dragon Ball Z game that we talk about, pretty much. Also been playing, oh my gosh, I have been playing Silent Hill 2 for the first time. It's a little bit of foreshadowing. If you listen to one of our earlier episodes, I promised somebody that we interviewed a while ago that I would have that game beat by the time he came back onto the show. So if you have been listening to the show for a while, you will know that's maybe possibly a little bit of foreshadowing for something coming in the next month or two. We'll see. But, oh my gosh, I am such a wuss. Like,
It looks pretty scary.
have you not played it?
No.
Oh, I thought you had.
Which what? Silent Hill?
Yeah, Silent Hill 2.
No.
Really?
I've touched it.
I've touched it. That's
Like,
Mark.
I held the disc and then I was like, that's enough gameplay for me.
Have you played it, Brian?
I watched Kyle play it. It's one of Kyle's favorite horror games, and even as a spectator, it's one of the most viscerally, like, it's not a cheap jump scare game.
No, not at all.
It's the atmosphere
Absolutely.
that just raises the hair on the back of your neck, man.
That's 100% what I was going to say. Like, I mean, there's some stuff that jumps out at you and everything like that. For the most part,
Obviously.
you can tell when stuff is coming because you'll hear noises and you'll hear like there's a monster that comes out that looks like just body parts flailing around, but it makes a sound like a radio trying to find a station, like static.
That's pretty creepy.
And so you hear that in all this fog, and you're like, "Where? Oh God, there's one near me. Where is it?" And then it'll just hop
Yeah.
out at you, so you'll know it's there. Most of the time, there's absolutely nothing coming to kill you. There's nothing. It's just walking around in fog, not being able to see, most of what's around you, and the anticipation of what you think could be out there. Like, the game is, it's all psychological. Mm-hmm. Like, there could be not a single monster in that game or a single thing that was trying to kill me. I would still be terrified because of the way it presents itself. I mean, it's brilliant, 100% brilliant.
Right.
But so yesterday was Saturday, and I had the entire day off, and I was like, I'm going to play some Silent Hill today and try and move forward a little bit. And I was like, but I'm not going to play it at night because that would freak me the hell out. Well, I got caught up doing some stuff. So I was like doing laundry, and I may or may not have played some other games. So by the time I was like, you know what, I got to do it. I got to play a little bit. It was about 8:30.
Oh no!
So I was like, crap, I don't have a choice now. It's nighttime. So of course I turned my kitchen light on and
Right. All the lights on,
all
yeah.
the lights on. But I couldn't turn my room light on because I have my PS2 hooked up in my room.
Right.
And that the ceiling light shines right on the TV So with a glare, I couldn't play like that. So I had to be sitting in the dark pretty much. Like I said, I had my kitchen light on, but that doesn't do anything. So I'm sitting in the dark trying to play this thing last night. I was just scared to death, and I was like, man, I'm glad nobody's here to watch this because this is terrifying.
No, and you haven't been. You're not even at the part where you're hunted by Pyramid Head yet.
I am.
Oh, you are.
I am
yeah.
actually. I've met him. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it is a beautifully built game, but it just keeps reminding me how much of a huge wimp I am. Like if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I posted about this saying like, I'm just getting, reminded how big of a wuss I am when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I love it, but it's not something that I'm going to be like, I got to find every horror game out there now and go for it.
But it's universally regarded as one of the scariest games ever made, Silent Hill 2. You're not alone. Everybody, even me and my brother, even watching Kyle play through it, I mean, even with us sitting there right next to each other, we were like, run.
It is. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
But I honestly, if you're curious about it, because the story's cool and it's really cool to actually find bits and pieces of the plot and what you're trying to discover. Like as scared as I am, I still want to know what happens next. And I'll tell you what, this guy in the game is a heck of a lot braver than I would be in real life because I would just be like, nope, I'm just going to leave right now.
Turn right back around, or I'm going to stay in this corner and just hunker down, and I'll die of starvation.
But it's a good game either way. And then also, I've been playing through Final Fantasy IX again.
Nice. Is there any reason why you've been playing it?
There is, and I was going to ask if anybody else knows why I would be playing Final Fantasy IX right now. I know Mark does.
You are playing Final Fantasy IX to usher in the new era of gloriousness based on the alignment of the planets.
Yeah, nope.
Well, I tried.
I'm playing it because last week it turned 15.
Oh, 15 year anniversary.
Old.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I freaking love that game. It honestly, to me, Final Fantasy IX personifies the Final Fantasy series. And like if old school gameplay, in addition to, the not new school graphics, obviously, but like better graphics than the originals. But it has that charm and that sense of adventure, along with the drama, and the characters are so great in that game.
Very true.
And I'm just having an absolute blast going through it. I was playing, speaking of your brother, he sent me a message on PSN. He saw I was playing it on my Vita. And just sends me a message saying like, hey, I've been wanting to play through that one again. And I was like, yeah, dude, I got to play it for the 15th anniversary. Heck yeah. If you have not played 9 and you're on the fence about it, anybody who has never played a Final Fantasy game, that's a really, really good one to start with, in my opinion, if you want to get a feel for what the series is. So, I mean, Mark, do you have anything to say about 9?
I mean, black mages are important characters in the game. That tells you how much of a throwback it is, because that was one of the original character classes in the first Final Fantasy and throughout the series.
I love the dilemmas and the story overall. Like, Steiner is such a goofy character, but when you actually sit back and you think about what he's going through, like, I've got this sworn duty, however, it's going against everything I know to be right or wrong, So, what is he supposed to do in that situation? Then Vivi, am I even a real person? Like, do I even exist? What is existence? And Dagger trying to figure out, where she belongs. Yes, I'm a princess, but at the same time, I'm learning that there's so much else out there in the world. It's just there's so much there. It's such a great game. It really is.
Definitely.
I could talk about it all day, but we'll get moving on. What have you guys been playing?
I played about 14 hours of Rust the other Saturday.
I saw that on Twitter.
It was fantastic. We had like a whole group, probably 6 or 7 guys on, building up our base. And we went around the island and attacked other people's bases, took them out, took everything they had.
Oh my god!
You can actually see like 4 hours of it on Twitch. I'll send you the link. And if anyone wants to see it, email us and I'll send you the link.
Cool.
And I played some Witcher because I can't let JJ be the only one to suffer through it. I gotta beat it as well. And obviously, Brian's beat it a long time ago, but that and a little bit of Unepic, which is sort of this side-scrolling indie game. It's probably only worth $5 or $10 if you can find it on sale sometime. Give it a shot. It's pretty cool. It has a lot of jokes about D&D tropes in it. It's just like a side-scrolling almost Metroidvania, but that's not probably.
It's been out for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's about it.
Mark, I'm impressed. You played a handful of games.
That's like, I mean, I'm about to just crush him, but I mean, it's still impressive.
Brian starts his off by saying, "Aw, that's cute.
Aw, you beat a
played
couple
9
games."
They didn't say beat any of them.
No,
of course not.
Come on. He said he's working on them, playing them.
Okay.
Still.
I beat Rust.
Hey, he's
Yeah. Just like I beat World of Warcraft.
right.
Yep.
Okay, so as you guys know, I've been playing Mega Man. Going through, it's one of my favorite series of games.
Series
is foreshadowing. Anyway, I've been collecting them all. I'm almost done with my collection, but I've been playing them as I've been going. So far, I've beaten Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mega Man and Bass on the Game Boy Advance. Or Bass. Mega Man and Bass. I'm sorry. Bass and Trouble.
Yeah, it's a Bass.
It's Bass. Bass and Trouble. His dog's name's Trouble. It's supposed to be a play on, like, musical words. Anyway, then I jumped on over to I also beat the handheld versions of Mega Man 1 through 5 on the Game Boy. Then I jumped over to Mega Man X, and I've beaten X1, X2, X3, X4, X5, and I'm currently on X6 with X7 on deck. And also I have been... I'm at the last stretch on The Witcher 3, and I find myself like slowing way down because I want to stretch out the. It's just such a great game that I don't want it to end. I just want to keep exploring and finding new things to do. So it's been a whole lot of gaming for me. Luckily for me, Mega Man games are short and simple. The X games being about 5 hours long, and then the at maximum, I think I've beaten them in like 2.5 hours each. So. It's been quite a journey. I've beaten so many games in the past week. It's just wonderful.
Very cool.
Yep.
Emails. If you would like to email us, you can do so at frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. Our website is fngaming.net. Our Facebook is facebook.com/frozennorth. Our Twitter is at fnpodcast. Our blog is frozennorthpodcast.blogspot.com. And we're on iTunes where they can subscribe to and rate us. You guys, listeners.
Yeah.
Where the people can come.
All y'all can go on there and rate us.
Please do. We would appreciate it because the more you rate and leave comments on ours, the more other people can see us on there. So we would appreciate that. Just tell us what you think. What you like, what you don't like. Feedback. That's what we want. Want to plug 2 things real quick. One, for us, our website, we're kind of doing another push. We'd like to get Isaac, our reviewer, is currently writing a few at the moment that he's going to be posting up. I think his next one, he already submitted it to you, Mark, Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, I actually just put that up on the website.
Oh, so it's up?
Yep.
Okay, so go over there, check out his review of Final Fantasy VIII. Good stuff. And we're looking to expand our reviewer repertoire. We'd like to get a couple more in there. So if we can get just a few people who, I mean, literally I don't put any like rules on it or anything like that. You pretty much just write on whatever you want and just send it to us, and we will post it up on our site. That's it. As long as you keep it family friendly and that kind of stuff. Anything you want to review about, we're pretty lenient on that kind of stuff.
Minesweeper.
If you would like to do a review on Minesweeper, go ahead.
Yes. I call it.
Oh my gosh. Also, we would like to go ahead and plug something for SoPro as well. They're doing a Hearthstone tournament this coming Wednesday. And that would be Wednesday the
15th.
15th. Yep. 6 p.m. is when it starts. $5 entry, and you can win some sweet Hearthstone pint glasses. Which is pretty cool. But it's like it's a qualifier for the bigger Blizzard tournaments later on. So it's going to be a good time. I'll be over there, and I don't know if I'm going to play yet. It just depends on how
intimidated you are.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to walk in and I'm going to kind of judge the crowd because I'm not good at that game. I might go in and just play for fun, just to show support and stuff. I'll be there either way for sure. But if there was a bunch of NFL players getting ready for a scrimmage and they were like, "Hey, you want to play?" I don't think I would because I'd get rocked in the face. Kind of one of those situations.
Right.
So, but it'd be fun to watch still. So I will definitely be there. So if you're in the Kansas City area and you play Hearthstone, come on. Even if you don't play Hearthstone, you want to just talk to a bunch of gamers who play video games. Come on down and hang out. We'll be at SoPro Gaming. soprogaming.com.
SoPro game. That's cool. Seems like a website.
Look at you, sharp as a doorknob.
Some doorknobs are actually really sharp.
Try running into one.
If you make a doorknob out of a knife, that's really sharp. A doorknob. Cool. Thank you.
Brian, what do we have for news this week?
All right, guys. It's slow. We're still in the dead zone, I like to call it, after E3, but I did find some tasty morals. Inside joke. Morsels. Anyway, what we got is, so there's a game called Devil's Third coming out for the Wii U. There were rumors that it was being basically canceled by Nintendo. I think they were citing quality issues. That was what the rumors were. But Nintendo made an official statement saying that they are still bringing Devil's Third to the Wii U, and then they are also promising more details to come soon. The game is from Tomonobu Itagaki of Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive fame. So if you are a fan of those games, you might want to check out Devil's Third when it does hit for the Wii U. I feel like every game now that's coming out for the Wii U is like shrouded in some sort of like vicious rumor about Nintendo. I'm one of those people who don't typically believe rumors, but when it happens for every single one of Nintendo's titles, something's going on. I think we all well know that Nintendo's kind of ramping down on their support of Wii U and going to focus on their next-gen NX system. But, yeah, every single game that's been coming out for the Wii U lately has been riddled with rumor. You had the Zelda Wii U game being rumored to be pushed back into the NX era. The Star Fox game has a ton of texture detail issues, as we saw at E3. So, I don't know. I'm excited to see Devil's Third. I really like Ninja Gaiden. I'm not a big fan of Dead or Alive. I'm not a fighting game guy, but played a ton of Ninja Gaiden, so we'll see. We'll see. I always find it interesting that all the Wii U games that come out just have nothing but rumors attached to it, and it's kind of sad. Speaking of another sad tale, Kojima Productions may have actually been dissolved, like completely
I saw this
obliterated. One of the Japanese voice actors, Okio Atsuka, reportedly said the company was forced to disband. This leads me to believe. I think Kojima might be done with games. I think he's out of the game business. If this is true and his production company got dissolved, I think we've seen the last of Hideo Kojima as far as the game.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know about that.
He said for years he wants to be done with Metal Gear. So It's not surprising. I mean, sure, he loses that IP, but he didn't want to make more games anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever said, I'm done with gaming. Just he kind of wanted to move on to something else, it sounded like to me, at least.
But now he has no production company.
I feel like someone's going to make him an offer because he's such a big talent.
Right, yeah. How easy would it be for him to be like, hey, who wants to start a company with me? Or who wants to hire me?
Yeah, let's hope so, but we're still seeing that Konami fallout.
Microsoft's going to buy him.
No. Mike, speaking of Microsoft, that's coming up later. So everybody, Star Citizens, one of Star Citizen, it's the big kick-started, I guess I'd call it space exploration / FPS game. One of their executive producer departed, stirred up a lot of, I guess, angst over it. Rest assured, it was really no big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but he cited personal issues, but the company's already basically confirmed a new studio in Frankfurt, which will be focusing on the FPS portions of the game and Squadron 42. So the game is alive and well and still being heavily developed, so we shouldn't all freak out just because
that's what we do.
I know, the internet is a freak out machine. And then after a big presence last year, Xbox is skipping the 2015 Tokyo Game Show.
Might as well.
I read this article. Well, but here's what's funny. You look at that headline and you're like, well, yeah, it makes sense. And then you read the article and it's just a bunch of corporate jargon bull crap that the Microsoft, we still care about the Japanese market. We're still planning to grow.
Of course they're going to say that.
So, it was a super disingenuous article, especially on Microsoft should just say it. It's like stop saying all the stuff.
But who says that? Who says anything negative about a potential customer?
No, they're not saying negative. They could say something like, hey, the Japanese market we're not doing very strongly in. We want to focus our capital on other areas. Not, we still plan on growing the Japanese market. It's a big market to tap into. No, Microsoft, you fail big time in the Japanese market. market. You're not going to the Tokyo Game Show because you see the writing is on the wall, so you're pulling out of Japan. Don't just give me corporate jargon. Basically, that's the truth. The truth is that Microsoft is getting absolutely crushed in the Japanese market. And in my opinion, they are basically waving the white flag, saying we're not going to really focus on it if we're not going to.
They might not. I mean, why would they?
Right, exactly.
At this point.
100 to 200 consoles a week.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
not going to cut it.
Or is it a month? It might be a month.
So this would be a chance for Microsoft to be a company that doesn't just give out platitudes and say, "Hey, look, we're going to focus on some of our stronger suits. We'll still have a presence there, but we won't be focusing on it. Why not?"
That's not. I mean, Konami's worse than that about lying through their teeth.
That's true.
Versus just putting a spin on something. So
Right.
I'm not too concerned about that.
It's the corporate world.
Yep. But that is your news, guys. Hopefully the news will pick up here in the next month or so. Usually there's a dead zone after E3, so we're hoping to start picking up some steam heading into the holiday season.
Woo! I'm excited. Are we really heading into the holiday season, though?
In a couple months.
That's July right now.
That's what I'm saying. I said in a couple months. Did you not just hear what I just said?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I said hopefully.
I'm sure I will when I edit.
Let me repeat. Hopefully the news will pick up here in a couple months as we head into the holiday season.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. We got a game review today.
We do.
Two, actually. We're going to be talking Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, and Oracle of Seasons. Because this has two games to it that used to be able to be linked via Game Boy Link cable because it was for the Game Boy Color. Now it's available on the 3DS Virtual Console. We went ahead and had four of us actually review it. So Mark and I played Oracle of Ages, and then we had Brian play Oracle of Seasons along with our buddy Brandon. Brandon, what's going on?
How's it going?
Hey, Brandon.
You might remember Brandon from an episode a while ago where we talked about Nintendo, and he came on and gave some thoughts on how he felt about Nintendo and their consoles.
Amazing.
That is not what you said last time at all.
You said the opposite of that.
That is the complete opposite of what you said.
Yep.
But you actually, what's funny is you, Brandon, have never played a Zelda game before.
Correct.
Not big on Nintendo games, period.
Correct.
What'd you think?
It frustrated me a lot.
Brian was talking earlier about Mega Man, and Brandon just follows up with, I think I played a Mega Man game once.
I'm pretty sure I did.
That just kind of tells you Brandon's experience with Nintendo and any sort of old school games whatsoever. How many Mortal Kombat games you played?
0.
You're such a non-gamer.
Unacceptable.
I don't play fighting games. I just button mash, so I don't play them.
Brandon, you know what? I don't know that you talked much about your gaming tastes on... No, you did. You said you were a pro gamer. You flat out said it.
Why
don't you remind everybody what kind of games you normally play?
First-person shooters on consoles, anything that's heavy, action, light on story. Pretty much, for the most part. I also like open-world games.
You get impatient when JJ wants to watch
Brandon,
it.
he is what we like to better known as a cutscene skipper. He's the guy who just hits the button and skips the cutscene. You're like, I want to know what's going on. He's like, who cares? Let's just keep shooting.
He's actually, you guys are playing through, Brandon and JJ are playing through Halo right now, and Brandon has to sit there and like twiddle his thumbs and
Yeah, because I've seen all those cutscenes.
like, I don't want to see this.
He's been pretty good about it though. He knows, because I give the warning every time a cutscene comes on. I'll go cutscene in the microphone, and so we kind of just sit there and watch him. And he's honestly been really, really good about it. He hasn't complained once. I've been doing most of the complaining because the online for Xbox is awful when it comes to Halo.
Well, the co-op.
The co-op, yeah.
Well, we also my NAT was set to strict, so
We'll see if that fixes it. We'll see, because what I've read online says that won't do anything. But either way, so it's kind of cool to get some fresh eyes onto this series, and I mean, after playing this so far, we'll get into the review here in a second. But would you ever consider playing another Zelda after that?
negative.
Really?
Correct. No,
Woo,
I
man.
can't see.
Because to me, these
not
games
one-
personify old school Zelda.
Not like that
beginner
style.
Zelda.
Anyway.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Nope.
I honestly am not shocked by that.
No, it makes sense. It'll come down to when we review it. I'll explain what I think he's talking about.
I mean,
Brian and I, when we played through Battle of Z for Dragon Ball Z, Brian and I were trying to go canon with the characters and the battles. And Brandon would come in, and we've complained about this on the show before. Brandon would come in and just be like, "Oh, we're fighting Frieza in his final form. Okay, I'll use Frieza in his second form." No, Brandon, that's not how it works.
impossible.
That's not how it happens.
Yeah.
It never happened.
Never happened like
at
that.
all.
Well, that's why we're not watching this show. We're playing a game where anything can happen.
It's not. You gotta.
You got it.
I mean, if you're really playing canon, one person should have been Goku against Frieza, and everyone else just sit there.
Exactly. What fun is that?
Mark,
Mark, here's the thing, Mark.
I'm just saying.
First of all,
if you want to be
nobody's
accurate,
talking to you about this.
well, I'm
no
I'm
one is
talking
asking
to
for
me
your
about
opinion.
it.
Well, you can turn your mic off when you talk to you.
Well, what if
Man.
whoa, what if we're both the same exact Goku and we just pretend like he's so fast that he's projecting
But
to
He
us?
has
Where do-
used the multiform technique before.
Boom.
But he didn't in that fight.
Where do we draw the line at pretending? Like, why can't I just pretend to be anyone I want?
Because
to
you're
fight
being
him?
the same guy's second form that we're fighting at the moment. They can't.
But it's
No.
but it's a game.
You
Yeah,
don't
but
No.
understand.
Who are you guys playing as?
I don't remember.
I don't
to be
remember.
honest.
We're
That was
just,
a while
we,
ago.
we just were really mad that he wasn't playing as
If you don't
canon.
remember, then you probably weren't playing canon because you
Yeah,
should be
no,
able
Oh,
to
we
remember.
Brian and I
Oh, we
were. We were strict and adamant
So
about it.
Goku and also Goku.
The rules were if you were fighting bad guys, you had to be a good
A
guy,
Z fighter,
and
yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Pretty much. Well,
And
no,
vice versa.
unless the fight included more than one character. It's like when we fought the Ginyu Force, we had Krillin, Gohan, Vegeta in there.
Yeah, solid.
That kind of stuff. But like if it's a one-on-one fight in the show, anyway, Brian
This
and I are
is-
right.
this is what
That's
we're
that's
reviewing,
what you
right?
should take away from this. Brian and I are right. You guys are wrong.
Yes.
Hands down. That's
First of
all
all,
that
what
matters.
was my saying? DBZ canon is life. DBZ canon is love.
Thank you.
But it's
Thank you. No,
You're-
Mark, 1-0. We win. Thanks.
send all your hate mail to Brian at frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com.
Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. Like I said, Game Boy Color and 3DS Virtual Console is out right now. Developed by Capcom and Flagship, which was a smaller studio that they hired, and published by Nintendo. So, story synopsis. Now, both of these games together are like they're not the same game, but they're very similar in style and dungeon layout and kind of just like if you play one, you can pretty much play through the other. The one that Mark and I played, Oracle of Ages, is more puzzle focused and relies more on like thinking about how to solve different things and playing through that way. The one that you guys played, Brian and Brandon, was more action focused. And I mean, did you notice like?
No, and I'm kind of curious to play Oracle of Ages now because ours was pretty heavy puzzle based
Yeah,
as well.
it was very intensive.
Yeah. Maybe that just means in the dungeons because our dungeons were filled with a lot more monsters. Maybe I don't know.
I think that's probably right because you guys said you had to do the big like trading crap
the
too.
the
right?
overworld was one huge puzzle and it was
Yeah.
very confusing.
For us too, I would
Yeah.
imagine it probably means the dungeons then.
Okay, because the dungeons were full. Our dungeons were full of a lot of monsters. But I mean, the dungeons were still puzzle filled.
Yeah, they were.
I don't know. I haven't played the other one yet, so I can't expand on that at all. But it felt like ours was pretty puzzle based as well.
Yep. So Mark, what do you remember from the? I mean, it's Zelda, so the story is always going to be bare bones.
So the story of Oracle of Ages was you basically are this little kid and you have a tattoo on your hand that's like the Triforce tattoo, so they know that you're a special person. And this woman grabs
Whoa,
it,
whoa,
she's
whoa.
like
Which Triforce power is it?
the one thing with the power.
Mark, look at that.
So
That's
anyway,
just
this woman is like, I need to get through this. I need you to move this rock out of the way so I can get back here and talk to
Courage,
the-
by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Courage and talk to the Oracle of Ages.
he was never going to answer it, was he?
He
And
had no idea.
no, I don't have any idea. and it turns out that you were being tricked, and this person was possessed by some crazy, like, I don't know who it was. It's some witch.
Twin Rova
Not Twin Rova.
should be.
I honestly do not remember her name. I played and beat it way before you.
Twin
guys
Rova is
did.
like who they tease at the end of the game. So
Gotcha.
they'll get you to go
the
play
twin
Ages.
twin witches,
Seasons,
right?
I mean.
Yeah.
I think he's right.
Yeah. Okay. Because
And so she jumps out of that body and possesses the Oracle of Ages, and then like transports back into the past, and just starts messing everything up.
And basically, the whole game, you're going back and forth in time, moving things around, changing things. Like you would go back to the past, and you would move a seed that was on the ground to next to a rock face, and then you go back to the future, and that seed will have grown into a vine that you can climb up, and that kind of stuff. And you're kind of just changing stuff back and forth between the two.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I mean, a lot like Ocarina of Time in that aspect.
Right.
What about you guys? Was there a huge...
Actually, instead of just changing the thing back and forth, forward and backwards, we had 4. We had all 4 seasons. You had to change.
All seasons.
And it changed. Every time you changed a season, it changed the entire outlook of the area you're in. So that's why our overworld was so confusing, because it'd be like, well, okay, I'm in fall right now, but what about winter? Nope, that doesn't do anything. Okay, go back. Let's try summer. Nope, that doesn't do anything. Okay, let's try spring. There you go.
Jeez.
That sounds terrible.
It was that overworld. After I think about 6 dungeons, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna get through this game. I had to do what I hate doing. I had to pull up a guide.
I pulled up a guide after 5 dungeons.
Yeah, after the 6th dungeon, I found it after like 2 hours of searching, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go from dungeon to dungeon now, beat this thing, because whoa.
Did anybody fully complete the world map? Like unlock every little pixel? I didn't.
I think so.
I don't think I did.
I might have, but I'd have to check.
I did not.
I don't. Think
I was
so.
very close. I know that.
I was pretty close, but I mean, because we.
Oh yeah, you go through a lot, but I don't think I got them all. Okay, cool. So there, I mean, pretty similar stories. It sounds like for the two.
Well, I mean,
Brandon,
go
What?
ahead. Sorry, do you want the story from Mars or?
Oh, I thought you said it was
That pretty much similar.
No,
It's
much different.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? Tell
So
yeah.
in our story, the Temple of Seasons sinks into a I don't know if it's like an underground or another dimension called Subrosia. The Oracle of Seasons is basically taken prisoner by somebody. I think it's
Onyx.
Onyx, yeah. And you are basically going around and you're trying to raise the Temple of Seasons back up to the I guess I would call it 2 different dimensions, because Subrosia seemed like it was like a different dimension. So you're raising it back up to the normal dimension so the seasons work correctly. A big tree helps you out doing that, and come to find out, the reason they need the Oracle of Seasons, and actually the Oracle of Ages is mentioned too, is because Twinrova, the twin witches, are trying to resurrect an ancient evil. Tease.
We actually didn't even get that in our game.
Yep.
What happened at the end of the game was you beat the final boss, and she's like, ha! I just distracted you while Twinrova was doing all the real work.
Right,
Yeah.
and in our game, you actually meet Twinrova, and they're talking about what they're doing, and they're trying to resurrect an quote unquote ancient evil. I think we all know who that is, and
Yep.
I
Well,
don't know.
Brandon
who he is.
doesn't.
Because this takes place after
Ganon.
Is it Ganon?
after the first Zelda, I think.
We'd have to look at the timeline. The timeline seems like it takes place after.
I thought it took place after Ocarina.
I think so. I think it's directly but there's 3. It splits at that point. Ocarina is the split point into the 3 timelines. So technically, you got a pretty good chance of it taking place after Ocarina.
Okay, well, let's go into pros and cons. Brandon, since you are the newbie to Zelda in general,
Yay.
what did you like about the game, if anything?
Well, I mean, the game was okay. I liked certain aspects. I liked the fact. I mean, the puzzles were very good. Puzzles were very well done. I think the game that'll get into cons, but I mean, I like the puzzles. I like the combat. It was an interesting gameplay for a while.
It was an interesting gameplay
Like-
for a while.
No, but I liked the style. Actually, I mean, I know we gave crap about the quest, the trading quest, but I actually liked that part of it. I thought that was kind of cool. You had to go to different parts of the world to get upgrade things and stuff like that.
We had to go back and forth in time to different parts of the world.
Yeah, and that was interesting. I like that. I enjoyed that aspect of it. The dungeons weren't too bad. I liked like I said, I liked the puzzle aspect of it. I liked the combat. There was a lot of combat in the dungeons. There was quite a bit of monsters. The boss fights were really well done.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the boss fights.
it's your standard Zelda boss fights. Very
which again
formulaic, I guess. So
Yeah.
they're
Ours were kind of like that too, but they were pretty simplistic.
Yeah. It was like you find the one trick, and then you
There
take
wasn't
them out.
ours.
Anything crazy.
There's several bosses that had multiple tricks up their sleeves.
Yeah, where you had to. They had several phases, so
Yeah, different
definitely more
phases.
combat focused.
Yeah,
I guess,
for sure.
is
Which
what
I
we're-
liked.
yeah.
I liked that aspect of it.
Okay. I mean, pros for me, I love the old school Zelda feel. Like this is top down, walking around the world. The overworld is a dungeon in itself, essentially. We had the same thing with Link Between Worlds, and obviously the original Zelda. this is my personal preference when it comes to the Zelda series and the layout and the way it's played. I honestly, I think I probably would have liked Seasons more if it was a little more action based, because man, like the first 4 or 5 dungeons are fine, but you start getting up there and there's so many little tiny steps. Did you notice like just the insignificant stupid little things like, okay, you've got to go to this place, then you've got to go all the way back in time just to flip a switch or just to talk to one person.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've got to go all the way back, but you can't just go back.
You've got a Goron who's hungry and he's blocking the stairway that you need to go up to, and he says, "Oh man, if someone could get me some tasty beef, I could rest and get out of the way for you." So you go in the past, and you get some tasty beef from some guy from doing a mini game, and you go back to the future, and you give him the tasty beef, and then he gives you this ancient vase, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'll give you this vase." He says, "Thank you." And you go back in time, and someone's like, "Oh, I have this great Goron family. I wish I had something to commemorate it with." And then you have to give him the ancient vase, so that it can become the heirloom that you get from the guy in the future, so that you can get past him, so that you can get the next thing to trade.
Yeah,
we had a trading puzzle like that as well.
But this was separate from the big one to unlock the dungeons.
Really?
Like this was, there were quite a few of these in ours.
Oh.
That's the thing, is like there was a lot of, I found myself looking at a guide quite a few times just because I was like, I don't want to spend the entire day
looking for
walking around talking to every single person to find this one thing. Right. But as far as the gameplay goes, I really like the combat. Same thing as Brandon. It's just classic Zelda. If you like classic Zelda, you probably get a kick out of this. What about you guys?
I liked the ring system. I thought it was pretty cool, the way you can buff yourself up with different rings.
Yeah.
I wish I had spent a little more time looking into that and finding some of the better rings, because there are some really cool rings out there that like make each heart be able to take twice as much damage.
I didn't do much. It seemed like a lot of the rings they would give you something good and then something bad as well along with it. And because of that, I didn't really go too in depth with it. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try and stay neutral.
From what I saw, there's some really good rare rings that you can find later on.
Yeah, there were.
But at first it's like damage down, life up.
Right.
Kind of stuff. But I thought it was a cool concept. I liked the plot. I liked the classic Zelda feel. And to an extent, I liked the puzzles. But I do feel like this game came out in 2001. I feel like I would have appreciated this a lot more in 2001 than I do today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's just like, stop getting in the way of me getting to my dungeon. I want to go to the dungeon and get it done.
Yeah, that was, well, we'll get into that when we get to cons.
Yeah.
Brian, any other pros that you want to add?
The music, everything was classic Zelda. You had a mixture of, your original Zelda plus a little Link to the Past, plus a little Link's Awakening in there. You had some Mario characters you'd run into, like the cactus dudes and stuff. Pretty cool. I liked the story. As bare bones as it was, I could kind of understand what was happening, and I liked the ominous threat of the ancient evil being resurrected. It felt really Zelda-esque. As Mark would know, Zelda, the princess, her Triforce
that's right.
Her Triforce piece is Mark.
I know it.
Her Triforce is the Triforce of capitalism.
No,
capitalism.
Is it peace?
Wisdom?
The wisdom of peace?
Wisdom?
Correct. Anyway, those are my. You guys pretty much covered all the pros.
Which one does Ganon have?
Yeah,
the Triforce of power.
Hey,
he got one.
Nice.
Right.
Boom.
Okay, well let's go into cons.
Should I start?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, I don't know if this is classic Zelda or not, but in the dungeons, right? I'm going through the dungeons and I fight some people. I fight this little mini boss, I guess, before the big boss. Mm-hmm. If I die to this mini boss, I then have to go back to the beginning of the dungeon with not full health and find my way all the way back. Maybe or maybe
Zelda.
not
That's
getting
normal.
hearts to fill my health.
You always start with 3 hearts.
That's normal.
Stupid.
Yep.
It is stupid.
Your favorite game is Halo, though, which you just stand in a corner for 2 seconds and you get full health. So you're used to that. You're used to getting spoiled.
Yeah, I am. So that's just my opinion. I thought it was dumb.
Terrible.
Also, I felt
though.
there was too many dungeons. It could have stopped at about 6 or 7.
Actually more
instead
usually.
of going to 9. but
There's usually some smaller ones mixed in, yeah.
Yeah.
it felt like the game was just going on and going on and going on and going on some more. I'd say probably about 30 hours into it, and I felt
Wow.
dude, my first Zelda game, I didn't know what I was doing for the first 5 dungeons. I went no guide, and I'm just all over the place. And so then I looked at a guide for like the last few just to try to get it done.
Get it done.
The inventory screen, I didn't like it. It was hard to figure out where certain stuff was. Like, it took me like 30 minutes to figure out how to save the game.
I honestly, I had to think about that too. I actually had to look it up.
Yeah, I did too.
Classics, the very first Zelda, you never played it, but for Nintendo, the way you saved was you died.
That's not cool.
You die, and then the save thing comes on, which it did in this game too.
Mm-hmm.
If you die, it says save and continue, and I was like, oh my gosh, if they kept that in here and didn't make it to where you can save regularly, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But eventually I found out,
You guys didn't use the 3DS console save? That's what I did. It's way easier.
Save states.
Way easier.
I figured that out late in the game.
Gotcha.
I figured it out.
I never used it.
That thing's so helpful. You can just resume play
I'm
basically
just
right
more
where you
hardcore
were.
than you guys.
That, and I mean,
I agree.
I agree.
and it just, I get it was for the Game Boy Color like 14 years ago, but it was just bland to me. Just very bland. Very bland.
Most games back then were very
You mean
bland.
the gameplay or the way it looked?
Both.
I mean, if you,
for a 2001 game on the Game Boy Color, it looked great.
let's have real talk right here, guys. If we take somebody who had never played games in the past, put them in the past, and they played games in the future, right? And we take Brandon.
Well, you're confusing me now.
Hold on, okay.
What?
Take a person who just basically popped into existence like a year or two ago, right, and played games for that 2 years.
Brandon's basically just trying to say this is Brandon's first Zelda game. And he
No.
doesn't have a lot of
I'm trying
experience
to
playing
say,
the past stuff.
well, people might be outraged that he says it's bland, but take somebody who's played games maybe for 5 years at this point and never played games in the past, and you take them you take a time machine, and you'll hear the games we played. I would be like, this is awful. I don't want to play these games.
That's what I just said.
But I played it with a grain of salt, knowing
right.
that fact.
So.
But it was still just it was pretty bland in my opinion.
Which I don't blame you for thinking that.
And I'm not surprised that you feel that way.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, just because of that, you would never try another Zelda game, even knowing that there are ones that have way more depth that have come out beyond that.
If it's like that style, like.
So he wouldn't play like a
the
2D.
top down.
No, yeah, 2D top down pass. I'll take a hard pass on those.
But you try one of the more modern.
Yeah,
Zelda.
a more modern one, like a 3D one, maybe. Yeah, I'll definitely take I'll
Skyward
play that.
Sword.
Yeah, something like that. I still have interest in those, but 2D, nope.
We'll start you off with
We already started them off.
Wind Waker.
We already started them off. Okay. Well, I mean, my cons are basically have to do with the monotony of the game. There is just so much like just walking around and doing just pointless stuff where you're just like Mark said, I just want to get to the next dungeon.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Seriously. And there was just so much walking around. You know what Zelda could benefit from? Vehicles.
True.
Give me an airship or something. I have not played Spirit Tracks, so I'm sure somebody will be like,
Right.
there is a train in Spirit Tracks.
Spirit Tracks.
Definitely, that's a vehicle.
There were
It's a train."
minecarts in this one.
That's true.
In your game, did you guys get seeds that could teleport you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, those are fun.
Those helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably my biggest complaint was just I wanted to get to the next dungeon because I loved the dungeons. I thought those were a lot of fun, but I did not like the in between each one, which yes is consistent with older top down Zelda games, but if it's done right, it still can be really
Fun.
really good. Like A Link to the Past. Between dungeons and that, still a blast.
I mean, that's been Zelda's staple is you have your puzzles and you have your mini puzzles in the dungeons, and you have your meta puzzle, which is finding the dungeons and getting to the dungeons. So it's all about, micro, macro, I guess.
But that's my biggest complaint is just impatience, I guess.
I can tell you, when I was done with this game, I knew that I never wanted to hear that song ever again. The little song you played at time travel.
Yeah.
I'm
my
done
gosh.
with the song. I've heard it
Yes.
so many times. I wish there was a skip button so I could
100%.
just go to the future. Ugh.
Is that it? That your con?
That was one of my cons. And I also, this is just the case with all older games, going back to them as a now modern gamer, is I'm just tired of games that get in my way when I'm trying to progress through the game. Where it's like, hold on, slow down and do this annoying puzzle.
Right. And you have to think, like, if nowadays we can make long games. Look at The Witcher 3. I've been playing for almost 200 hours, and there's still stuff for me to do.
This is just the way of padding a game out before
That's
we
exactly
had
right.
open world.
What it is,
gameplay.
what it is like, they don't want to make a game that's like 4 hours long, so they add a bunch of they have hardware limitations, so they can't make the world bigger. So they have to make it more monotonous is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yep.
Any other cons?
No, I think we about wrapped up the cons on the game. I think we're all on pretty even terms there.
Mark, would you recommend Oracle of Ages?
In 2015, I think if it was on sale and you're a Zelda fan, definitely.
I mean, it's $5.
Yeah.
If
you're a Zelda fan, yeah.
That's how I feel. Like, if you, and I would imagine Brian probably feels the same way, if you are a fan of Zelda in general, chances are you've already played it, or if you're a fan and you have not played it yet, it's going to be on your radar. You'd like to at some point. It's not going to be one of those where you're like, oh, you want an introduction to the Zelda series? You should go play this.
Right.
As Brandon will tell you here in a second. But I think it's a decent game for what it was and when it came out. I wish there was a little more that you could do between the two. Like, the only thing, literally the only
scenes.
thing... Yeah, you get a code at the end when you beat one of them that you use in the next game, and then it like gives you a couple extra scenes and stuff like that. I wish like they maybe like did a little functionality with the connector cables and stuff, maybe a little co-op quest on the side or something like
That'd be
that,
cool.
where you can get a new item or something like that. But they didn't, obviously. So yeah, I would recommend it to a Zelda fan, but not to a newcomer to the series.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'll go objective on this. Complete objective, non-Zelda fan. Brian says, nah. Most Zelda games are bad. If you just look, they're repetitive. I happen to be a big Zelda fan, and so I can look at it. I look at it with a little different reverence. But if I'm pulling myself out of that and I'm trying to be objective, I would say there's only like 2 good entries in the entire Zelda franchise that are not, ridiculously repetitive and same stuff every single time. So if you like a game that's going to be really, really repetitive and monotonous, then play it. But if you're a hardcore Zelda fan, absolutely pick it up. It's $5. But as a gamer, being neutral, no, don't. It's not worth it.
Brandon, as the newbie,
I would agree with everything that everyone said. As a non-Zelda fan, even though it's only $5, it's just not worth it, in my opinion.
Right.
It wasn't. For a Zelda fan, yeah, I'm sure it's great.
Exactly.
And like I said, it's 14 years old.
it's one of those play it if you are planning on playing the whole series.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just as a standalone game, I wouldn't recommend it.
Like, if you're not a Zelda fan and you haven't played many Zelda games and you came up to me and said, what Zelda game would you recommend? I would not recommend Oracle of Ages or Seasons. It's not one of the good entries.
Yep.
So,
Link to the Past.
that or Ocarina or even Wind Waker.
And I went into this open-minded, like I was ready to play a Zelda game because I never played one before. I hear good
Right.
things about it, and it just didn't impress me.
Sure.
And I don't think it's. I think the main reason I kind of wanted to get your take was because not that it's a great entry into the Zelda series, but it is a great entry into the Zelda style of
Yes,
gameplay,
gotcha.
especially the old school. So
I mean, it wasn't like terrible. It just was just.
But from this, you know that
Flatline.
you're like, I'll still play. I still am kind of curious about Zelda, but not the old school ones.
Yeah.
Because the gameplay doesn't differ that much.
Right.
All right. Brandon, thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks
Yay,
for having
Brandon.
me. I appreciate it.
Congratulations on being Brandon.
We're going to
Yeah.
be doing our top 5 video game series. What's your top 3?
Top 3 video game series.
Yep.
Halo number 1.
Well, in no particular order. Halo.
Number
That's the
1.
I can think.
And it's got to have 4 games minimum.
Oh God.
Because I know he was going to say Red Dead Redemption.
Well, it's only one game.
You would
It's
still
not a
probably
series.
say
You
it.
could say GTA as a series.
Yeah, but I only played 2 of them.
Okay, then
No, I
that-
did play 3 of. Well, I only played 3.
It's got to be 4.
Call of Duty.
Okay.
God.
Halo,
Makes
Call
me
of
sad.
Duty.
All of our listeners just went,
I
get
know.
this guy out of
Yeah, I
here.
know.
Ooh, Guitar Hero.
I do like Guitar Hero.
Boom. There we go. Brandon's top 3.
I don't know if I'd put it in my top 3.
Dang it. I was hoping it would be I was hoping it would be Halo, Call of Duty, and Guitar Hero.
I haven't really played a whole lot of series. I'm sure I'll think of one later. But not
Or-
right.
or-
I like the Batman games, the new
Boom.
Batman games.
There are 4. There's exactly
Yeah,
4.
City, the original Origins, and now this new one.
Yep.
I like them.
All right.
Great series.
Well, thanks for taking the time out.
Yeah, thanks for having
And
me.
I'm sure we'll have you back eventually just to maybe talk about how wonderful Nintendo is.
Yeah.
Right?
I love Nintendo.
Absolutely.
Hey, you and I have been playing through, well, we haven't in a while, but Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Yeah.
And that game's actually pretty fun.
It is pretty fun.
But it's really hard.
It is hard. And it's devolving into where one of us just gets on the back as Diddy, and then the other person just sits there and just waits as we helicopter around.
Yeah, we sit down on the couch, and it's like, whose turn is it to play?
Yep, pretty much. It's where we've gotten to now. So
it's fun, though. You do all the minecart stuff, and then I do all
God.
the zip line stuff.
Minecarts are the best.
Zip lines, man. That's where it's at. All right. We're going to kick Brandon out of here. We're going to do our top 5 video game series.
Top 5 video game series.
Go on, yes!
Top 5 video game series.
All right, our top 5 video game series. Honorable mentions.
Half-Life.
Mark?
Half-Life is my honorable mention.
Half-Life is not a series.
When we say video game series, we're talking,
main
like
entries.
we said with Brandon, 4 game minimum. 4 full game minimum.
Main entry
Not 2
series.
games and like 7 DLC.
Half-Life.
Okay.
Half-Life Blue Shift.
Is that a main entry?
Half-Life
Nope.
Opposing Forces.
Is that a main entry?
Half-Life
Nope.
2. Half-Life 2 Episode 1.
Is that a main entry? Nope.
Half-Life 2 Episode 2.
Nope. Main entry to the series, not spin-offs.
Spin-offs.
Yeah.
Those are not spin-offs. Define spin-off.
They're like DLC, aren't they?
Yeah, literally a spin-off. You play
Blue
literally.
Shift is not
I've never
DLC.
played
Okay,
any of
hold
them,
on.
so I'm just
Blue
going on
Shift
Brian
is
here.
made by Gearbox, a completely different
Okay.
company.
Let me explain to you about Opposing Forces. You just literally play as the soldiers of the Half-Life 3, Half-Life 1 story. It's not even a separate story. You just play as the other side.
What?
Look,
It's a different perspective. It's like
the same
it's the
story.
Trinity Sight system from Suikoden transplanted in Half-Life.
the simple fact is, Mark's wrong.
Yeah.
So moving on. Anybody else have any honorable mentions? I do.
Go ahead.
I have Wild Arms. If anybody has played
solid.
any of those games, there's 5 in the
I
series.
played 1.
They're good. And then Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior as well.
Nice.
I've recently started playing that, and I have played 8 as well later on, but I've only played the first few games. Anybody else honorable?
Yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog. Great series.
Iconic.
Kind of sputtered off near the end, but those original 4 or 5 were just absolute
He's
classics.
still iconic. I've got
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog hanging from my rearview
Yep.
mirror.
What else? I would say Castlevania as well. Again,
Definitely.
a lot of entries that are below par, but enough good ones in there to really to give it a good mention. So those would be my 2 honorable mentions.
Mark, any other ones?
Not that I've played.
Okay,
Resident Evil.
that's a good.
Resident
That's
Evil
a
is
great
a good
one.
one,
Yeah,
though.
that's
I've
a great
played
one.
I'm sure a lot of
0.
people would think that.
I actually played 1 through 5. So and Code Veronica.
There you go. There's
Solid.
another one for Brian.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'll put that on there too. Yep.
All right, let's get into the list. Number 5. My number 5 is the Xeno series. I'm talking Xenogears, Xenosaga Episode 1, 2, and 3. I don't really consider Xenoblade Chronicles to be in the same vein because
We don't even know if they're related.
they're not.
Right.
It was originally named Monado, Beginning of the World, and they just renamed it as a nod to the creator of Xenogears. That's literally the only thing
Gotcha.
that ties them together. Still a great game.
Absolutely.
But I never really looked at it as a full-on Xeno, part of the Xeno series. I just freaking... I've gushed about it before. Not much else to say.
Right.
I love the Xeno series. I love Xenogears. It's my second favorite game of all time. And the Xenosaga trilogy is really, really, really good story-wise. If you're looking for heavy action, don't go for there. But if you like just sitting back and watching some good cinematics
Yeah.
and really, really having to think about what's going on,
Got all 3. They're on my backlog.
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts on
Yep.
that. Mark, number 5.
Number 5.
My number 5 is the Halo series, but it appears on someone else's list later on. So we'll talk about it then.
Okay. Ryan.
My number 5 is the Metal Gear series. Metal Gear all the way up through this new one, Metal Gear Solid 5. So, what can I say? Solid Snake. Kojima Productions.
We don't know.
Anyway, not much to say. Y'all know about Metal Gear. Another one of those franchises where not very heavy on the action, but very heavy on the cutscenes. Sit back, grab a bucket of popcorn, and enjoy the movie/game.
Definitely. I hear you. My number 4, and Brian's number 4,
Yeah.
is the Legend of Zelda series. However, it shows up on somebody else's list.
I'm guessing
I don't know who it could be.
it could be some guy.
It's Matt.
Mark, number 4.
My number 4 is Fallout. What a great series. The first one I ever played was Fallout 2. Initially, I just got like a demo disc in a PC Gamer magazine. Played through it, was blown away by what a game could do. And, I mean,
No,
it didn't really get popular until Fallout 3, I think. I think most people got on at that point.
Now, I've played Fallout 1. Is Fallout 2 considered the gym?
I would say people consider it better than Fallout 1.
Okay.
But, I mean, most people, Fallout 3 and New Vegas are the ones that they're most familiar
that's
with.
where I started.
And those are fantastic games as well. I mean, it's just a really good series. Even though the developers changed since Fallout 2, it still continues to be fantastic. They understand what it's all about.
And you know what's great? I mean, it went from two different genres. Isometric, I would say it's more of a roguelike in in the first two iterations, and then they changed it to FPS, and it kind of to keep its same kind of feel and its same kind of humor and atmosphere. It's kind of a testament to both developers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
It
it's
works
a fantastic
for sure.
series.
Yep.
All right. Number 3. My number 3 is the Suikoden series, but it shows up later on somebody else's list, so we'll talk about it then.
Ooh.
Mark, number 3.
My number 3 is the Legend of Zelda series. This also appeared as the number 4 for JJ and Brian.
Nice.
Correct.
Yeah.
What? This is a series that has a lot of games in it.
They had to really... yes. Has so many games they...
It does indeed, Mark.
It has so
you
many-
wield a sword.
That's true.
It has so many games and fans, Nintendo was supposed to release a compendium with a timeline.
That's right.
Yeah.
All I know is the day I got that golden cartridge for Zelda, that was the day that changed me as a gamer.
You knew it was special when you saw the golden cartridge.
Yeah.
Even today, I guarantee you, if somebody had never played a single regular Nintendo game, I just eyeballed Brandon.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
did. That was a good eyeball.
But even if somebody had never played a regular Nintendo game, if they're like, if I were to take Brandon into my room right now and show him my regular Nintendo collection, I guarantee you he'd look down it and I'd say, without looking at the titles, just pick one. The first one that's going to catch his eye is going to be that gold cartridge right there. You know, you've got some of the black ones that have the weird, what are they, like Tengen or something like that, and then you've got your stereotypical gray ones and stuff. But then you've got this gold cartridge, freaking gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an eye catcher, and it's iconic. Everybody knows the gold cartridge.
They kept that all the way up through Nintendo 64, I think, for Ocarina.
Well, they didn't do it for Super Nintendo, though.
Yeah, they did.
They
oh,
did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had the gold cartridge, Link to the Past.
Oh, I didn't.
Pretty sure.
Interesting.
Pretty sure I
didn't
did.
either.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's right when it came out.
Are you sure?
I'm 90% sure. Look it up.
I played it through questionable means, so.
Unbelievable.
What?
ROM.
You've heard my stories about how I struggled to buy consoles.
Did you ROM it? Yeah.
What's the statute of limitations?
On ROMing?
Yeah.
On copyright infringement? I don't know.
I mean, they do have it, but it looks like it's a repro.
Really?
Like, it doesn't look like it's an official...
Yeah, I'm 90% sure it was gold cartridge, but heck, that was how many years ago now? 20-something?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it looks like this is a lot of custom stuff.
Custom stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
Not sure anyway. But I know that Ocarina of Time was gold cartridge. I know that
Yes.
to be...
Well, at least the first initial
one, yeah. Yep.
And so was Majora's Mask as well. But, I mean, it's freaking Zelda.
Yeah.
Great series.
Yeah,
One of the
what
most
can you say?
iconic in video games, hands down. Even if you're not a fan of Nintendo or that stuff, you know Zelda.
So iconic. Robin Williams, may he rest in peace, named his daughter Zelda.
Correct. Yep, absolutely. All right, moving on. Brian, number 3.
Mi nombre number 3 is the Halo series. Brandon should look at me with reverence right now because I'm about to talk about the Halo series. It's great.
It's
It's also my
Mark's-
number 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mark put it on his list at number 5. Have you played all the Halos?
I have.
Nice. Give me this. Boom.
The best one is ODST.
Yes, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
Brandon is now giving me a dirty look.
Story-wise, for sure, the best.
I thought it was nice that it was experimental.
Yeah, well, you got a different, basically a different perspective on what happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me talk at length about the Halo series. That's why it's number 3. It's good. It's really good. it's fun, a lot of fun.
Brandon and I actually finished the first one last night.
There's a lot of depth to its lore if you are ever so capable of searching.
Yeah, I mean,
for
there's
it.
multiple novels.
Yeah.
For this game series.
A great series. I love Halo.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my number 3, and Mark's number 5.
Not much, not a lot to say. You know what it is.
Yeah, it's Halo.
Number 2. My number 2 is the Tales series.
Sonic and Tails?
Nope.
Dang it. Okay.
Nope. Wrong Tales.
Gotcha.
I'm talking like Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Graces, all those. It's just that example. I've said this a million times of if it's not broken, don't fix it. They use a very similar formula throughout the entire series. None of the games connect to each other really, other than like the direct sequels. But they all have the same very, very iconic anime look, and they all have the same action combat system, which is a lot of fun. Still have experience leveling up. Just classic RPGs, but definitely more action focused. The humor is phenomenal in those games, and I really think that the games, if given a chance, there really is something for everybody to like in those games. And if you have never played one, I would say a good one to start with would be either Vesperia or Symphonia.
Very good.
So one of my favorite series, the Tales series. Mark, number 2.
My number 2 is Final Fantasy. However, this appears on someone else's list later.
Who
so
could
we'll
that
talk
be?
about
Yeah.
it then.
Weird.
Anyway.
Brian, number 2.
My number 2 is the Metroid series. I've played all the Metroid games or I've beaten all the Metroid games except for the Samus Returns on the original Game Boy and Metroid Other M. Those are the only 2 I've never played and beaten, and I probably will never play Federation Force as long as I live. But Metroid has... Oh, you guys know me. If you guys are longtime listeners, I'm a huge sci-fi nut. So any game that comes out with a lot of intrigue and sci-fi action and aliens and
Have you played Mass Effect?
I don't think so.
You should check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna try it out next time. Anyway, Metroid series, they even transitioned like Fallout to a completely different style and maintained gloriousness. They went from a side-scrolling, basically the father of Metroidvania, to a first-person shooter that was just as brilliant in the Metroid Prime series. And I really wish Nintendo would continue the series and not make chibi bullcrap Federation Force. But that's my number 2.
The important thing is you're not bitter.
Not bitter at all.
That's
Not bitter at all.
speaking of Mass Effect, you might wonder why it's not on any of our lists because, yes, there is a 4th game coming out, but it's not out yet.
And no one's played it.
And nobody's played it. So we kind of.
It's not a trilogy. We're not talking about trilogies here. We're talking about series.
Right,
And series is a 4-game
Four-gamer
minimum.
plus.
Yeah.
Number 1s. My number 1 should come as no surprise to anybody, the Final Fantasy series. I mean, nostalgia.
Yeah.
This is also Mark's number
2.
2?
Yep.
Yeah.
2, yep. I mean,
There's nothing. I mean, you know what it is.
yeah. Nothing that I haven't said 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
I love the series. I could talk about any of the Final Fantasy games at length for hours. FrozenNorthPodcast@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. But I mean, I absolutely love it. I have so many great memories with every single game in the series.
Yeah.
And it's
Did you start with the
so
first
good.
one?
I started with 2, which would be
2.
4
Right.
in the U.S.
Yeah.
Or 4, which would be 2 in the U.S.
Right.
I started with the first one on the original Nintendo, and the second I started playing it, I was in love. It was brilliant, and just there's something special, almost like in a Metroidvania way, where the game ends where it began.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And
For sure.
Just loved it, and ever since, I mean,
it
jumping
gave
from
you-
that to
it-
6.
It gave you a really, really, for a regular Nintendo game to give you that much freedom,
It was revolutionary.
like not only of exploration, but getting to pick your party and play who you want to play as throughout the game. It was cool, and you could challenge yourself with whatever you wanted to do, like 4 white mages. Why would people do that to
We
themselves?
did 4 black mages the first time.
I remember your brother telling me that, and he said he couldn't beat the end guy.
Nope. So that was unfortunate.
I mean, it probably would have been easier if they didn't have the level capped at 50.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
what can you do? So that's my number 1 and Mark's number 2, the Final Fantasy series. Mark, what's your number 1? It's the same as my number 3.
My number 1 is Suikoden.
All right,
It's
Brian.
also, I mean, honestly, we've talked about Suikoden probably in a dozen episodes already.
Yep.
It's a fantastic series. It's like Shakespearean. It's political. Go play it.
Yeah. The first two I played were good. Definitely
That's
good.
what it comes down to is go play it.
They were definitely fun. I played them.
And hey, now you can. When we started this podcast, you didn't have any options, and now 2 years later, you can get 1 through 3 on PSN. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It is beautiful.
for like $10 or less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which makes it even, I mean, unbelievably worth it for that price.
Definitely.
You don't even wait for a sale. Just go buy it, and also rate it too.
Price per power.
Because the more we show that people are interested in these games, the more they're going to notice that and be
The
like,
more
"You know
they'll
what?
just make slot machines.
Wait. Don't say that. But I mean, phenomenal series, really is.
yeah.
I can't wait to play the other ones that I haven't gotten to yet. Brian, number 1.
As you guys know, pretty obvious. Well, I guess not obvious, but my favorite character of all time is Mega Man. Let me preface that. It's the Mega Man X series. I never really played a whole lot of the original Mega Man until recently. I beat obviously all of them now, but Mega Man X series, I picked a more specific. I could have just said Mega Man, but that encompasses a lot of different series within the giant franchise that is Mega Man. I used to be such a Mega Man X fan that I used to draw all the Mavericks. If you don't know what a Maverick is, they're basically a Reploid that's gone haywire with the Sigma virus. Yeah, you guys are glazing over.
Let me explain to you what a Maverick is. It's a Reploid. What?
Wait, is this the backstory to Final Fantasy 13?
Yeah. Anyway, I used to draw them in school. Mega Man X, it is one of those series that I believe Mega Man X1 is considered probably one of the best, if not the best, platformer of all time. Everybody talks about it being up there with in the annals of gaming history, and I don't know. I just as I've collected them all again and played through them again. I mean, I literally played and beaten probably 16, 17, 18 Mega Man games in the past week, and I don't get tired of it. I love the ability to pick where you want to go and trying to figure out which Maverick or which end boss is weak to which end boss's weapon. There's all these nuances to the game, and it is brilliant. If not, the story's a little bit awkward at times, and the voice acting is terrible. But the Mega Man X series and the Mega Man universe is my favorite series of all time, and will probably be that till the end of days.
All right.
Yeah. That's not hyperbole at all.
What about when
Or
Mass
till
Effect 4 comes out?
Damn it.
You know what? I would probably put Mass Effect 4, if Mass Effect 4 is good, I'd probably put it at number 2. Mega Man has always had a special... When I'm a grown man thinking about always looking at the toys and figurines online, I've never been able to justify myself buying them, but because they're like $80 for a little Mega Man X series. But when I look at them on Amazon, every other week and be like, I really want to buy one, I know that series has always captured my imagination. So
Cool.
yeah.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
I don't. I just want to thank Brandon for coming on the show.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's my best friend.
That's weird.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, if nobody has anything else, this is The Frozen North, episode 6. Why are you staring at me?
Yeah,
like that?
Mark, what is happening
What
right
is
now?
going on?
Well, I'm just looking at you,
See,
man.
that was a weird
I'm
face.
just
He was giving you
appreciating
he's
your
he was giving you the
handsome mug.
eyeball.
It's like he's trying to poop. I mean,
That's what I was thinking.
like, yeah,
I'm just
that's
leaning
it.
forward because my back hurts.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Just pooping.
That's my chair, dude. Better not be.
Is that a fart?
Leaving pebbles. Ah! With that, this is The Frozen North signing off, episode number 66. Thank you once again for listening. My name is JJ.
My name is Mark.
My name is Brian.
And as always, we encourage you to... What, Brandon?
Keep on gaming.
That little click was him turning his mic on.
Yep.
Which was really funny.
Keep on gaming, guys.
Adios.
Our theme song was made available through the Creative Commons Attribution license by Ziphoid. The song title is Radical Fanfare.